Welcome back. This is Sunday edition. Thank you for staying with us. Let's switch gears into politics proper. And as the two presidential candidates prepare for that repeat presidential election, pundits say they may want to look at the so-called swing counties, and they have listed the counties of Kisii, Nyamira, Kajiado, Narok, and the county of Bungoma as so-called swing counties with a total of slightly more than 2 million votes. And they could be the ones, according to the pundits, that will determine whether President Uhuru Kenyatta will serve a second term, or if Raila Odinga will become the next president of the Republic of Kenya. Let's start by looking at a tactic being used by Jubilee. Jubilee have been meeting leaders from various parts of the country. This past week, President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy William Ruto did meet a section of leaders from the larger Kisii. Let's listen to what was said in that meeting at State House, Nakuru.
I know, being his friend and his deputy, yeye akiwa mdosi wangu, atatimiza. Na sisi tunawaambia, ile msingi tunajenga sasa ya siasa ni msingi wa kujenga siasa ya kuunganisha Wakenya wote. Kwa muda mrefu tuliendesha siasa ya mgawanyiko na ukabila na chuki, na mnajua ilituletea hasara kubwa sana. Si mnajua jameni? Tulipata hasara, tukapoteza mali, tukapoteza maisha, ikawa fujo, na hiyo ndio siasa hatutaki tena Kenya irudi mahali pale. Na ndio ni vizuri tuweze kutembea pamoja.
Mimi yangu ni kuwaomba kwa heshima kuu. Wenzetu tumeanza safari pamoja. Wenzetu tuwatembea tukijaribu kubadilisha taifa hili letu la Kenya. Na kuanza kwa kubadilisha siasa zetu. Ziwe siasa ambazo zitakuwa za kuunganisha na za maendeleo. Jameni, wa Kenya wamechoka. Ati kila miaka mitano lazima tuwe na tension katika nchi yetu ya mvutano ya kabila hili na kabila ile. Tuanze kuangalia viongozi kama viongozi. Tuanze kuchagua viongozi kulingana na yale ambaye wamepanga kufanya. Tukirudi si ni miaka mitano, si nitaenda nyumbani. Si mimi nimesema nitaunga mkono ndugu yangu Mheshimiwa Ruto. Kwani ni Mkikuyu, lazima awe ni Mkikuyu. Si yeye atakuja na timu yake ile atakuja naye. Si mimi nitawaunga mkono. Na tuendelee namna hiyo.
All right, that was at State House Nakuru this past week. Jubilee leadership, Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy William Ruto meeting a section of Kisii leaders from the Kisii region. Dismas, what is your take on this tactic by Raila Odinga, by Uhuru Kenyatta? If we can just take a look at the numbers. Now, in the 2013 presidential election, Raila Odinga got 236,000 votes from Kisii County. Uhuru Kenyatta got 95,000. It was not really a swing vote then, 95,000 votes. That was about 30% of the vote. In Nyamira, Raila Odinga did get 121,000 votes. Uhuru Kenyatta did get 54,000 votes. Again, Raila Odinga getting the lion's share. Now, in the 2017 numbers, which many people have been reluctant to use, but just taking a look at putting perspective into this, Raila Odinga got 224,000. That's a decrease from what he got in 2013. Uhuru Kenyatta got 175,000 votes in Jubilee. That is almost more than 100,000 more votes. In Nyamira County, in 2013, Raila got 121,000. Uhuru Kenyatta 54. Now in 2013, Uhuru Kenyatta got more votes, 106,000 votes. Raila Odinga got 95,000 votes. When you look at the permutations and mathematics and the issues and the tactic that Jubilee is using, is it working?
Well, I wouldn't go with the numbers you've just read for the last election, because those are the numbers that the Supreme Court said are just numbers. And IBC lawyer said that was a pure statistics. So if you begin your conversation from those numbers, you'll have the wrong conclusion because that's the wrong premises. However, three issues that are very important when you're looking at the Kisii Nation, that's Kisii County and Nyamira, is that the Kisii Nation is very, very liberal, right from the word go. From the time of multi-party independence, you've had Kisiis voting in either way. And it's very easy to assume that President Kenyatta has got about 20% of his votes secured in Kisii. That's number one. Number two, when the president was in State House Nakuru, and he made statements that he hopes the petitions against Governor Ongwae and Governor Nyagarama will go through. And he did not use those words, but the words were much stronger, that he hopes those petitions will go through. What he has immediately done, he has given Governor Ongwae and Governor Nyagarama incentive to proactively campaign for Raila Odinga during this election. So in as much, even if they just wanted to go at a plateau stage and not be very proactive, they know that just like President Kenyatta has indicated that he's going to fix the Supreme Court, is going to fix those two politicians. So those two governors are going to reactivate their systems and ensure they work very hard so that in the event, assuming that Raila Odinga wins, he becomes president, and these two petitions go through, then now Raila Odinga will come back as president and assist in their campaign. And of course, people have accused the two governors of a lot of mischief, a lot of stuff that they've not done the best, but nobody has actually gone to the court of law. They've not been found guilty by any court of any mischief. Because, you know, there are allegations about a number of things that they've done or they've not yet done. But the speeches made at State House Nakuru will give those two governors a lot of ways for them to go and proactively campaign. Of course, there is a little matter that everybody would want to ignore of Justice Magara. And, you know, the president said that he's not attacking the Chief Justice, but he's attacking the person. That he's not attacking the entire community, but he's attacking the person. That is something that a middle-class person in Kenya would have no problem understanding. That you are attacking the Chief Justice, and you are also attacking the other three judges who gave an opinion which you did not find comfortable. Yes. But the way people understand this back in the village, that is attacking one of their own, that is attacking one of their sons. And coupled with the fact that you've got a very nasty, a nasty page one story in your competition, that's in the Daily Nation, that again one of their daughters is under attack, then the people of that particular nation are becoming, they're beginning to ask themselves questions, that why are you attacking our own son? And you recall, after the Supreme Court made the ruling, the first port of call for Raila Odinga was actually in Kisii. He went there the following day, and there were rallies. They did a lot of rallies. There was a lot of rain, but people refused to go home. And there's been a lot of political activity. So those are two important dynamics that one needs to look at. But the last one is an issue of religion, because about 50% of the Kisii Nation is SDA. On the day that they were going to begin the proceedings, and I see you having a sheepish smile, I don't know why, but you know, the SDA Church prayed for Justice Maraga, and they said, we are placing the nation in your hands. Go lead these proceedings in a very solid manner. After he delivered the judgment, the following day, he went to church. So when you speak to a normal Adventist in Kisii, they'll tell you, it was not Justice Maraga. This is divine intervention. Now, a number of people are beginning to say that when the president is attacking Justice Maraga, he's not actually attacking Justice Maraga, he's attacking their faith. Because for them, they believe this is divine intervention.
All right, we needed that from your expertise in Kisii politics. Kibagendi, you've been involved in Jubilee campaigns in the larger Kisii area. First of all, these numbers that Dismas says are just statistics. What is your take on this?
No, it's the Supreme Court which said,
not you.
Yeah, Supreme Court.
The difference between me and Dismas in terms of political know-how from the region is miles apart, because Dismas will speak from the comfort of his office on Dennis Street, while I practice. I travel, I'm on the ground, and I understand what goes on. Kisii and Nyamira were predominantly NASA zones up to April. April, when we held nominations. And what happened is the governors from the region appointed their people to be candidates for mainly ODM. And that is where it began cracking. And as you see, when you look at what happened in Kisii, Kisii County, for example, had 35 MCAs in 2013. ODM had 35 MCAs in 2013. Right now, they have 13. They have no single member of parliament from the 9 constituencies. The same happened in Nyamira. So the nominations were the beginning of problems in NASA, in that region. And then when you look at the issue of the youth, actually that is national. NASA has a problem with ensuring, with genuinely accepting people of certain generation. In the entire nation, ODM has only one youth or youthful MP, and that is the unbeatable Babu Owino. If you compare that with leading political parties from the other side, it just demonstrates these people do not take certain generations into account. Now, if you move further on the issues to do with development, like now in Nyamira, there's a road that crosses virtually the 4 constituencies in Nyamira, a new road, a tarmac road. That could be the reason why Nyamira actually voted overwhelmingly for Honorable Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. And beyond that, there is this thing for the elderly, people who are above 70%, the stipend they get at the end of every month. That also contributed to this. On the issue of the petitions that the president spoke about, that is Nyagarama and Ongwae.
Yes.
They are so when you look at it from the face value, you can tell these ones we are going back to the elections. Because like in Kisii, 400 polling stations, the candidates were getting almost uniform figures in stream 1 and 2. You find that in stream 1, Ongwae has 173. Stream 2, he has 173. Stream 1, Obure has, sorry, allow me to finish this. Stream 1, Obure has 60. Stream 2, 60. Spoiled votes, 5. You know, in almost 400 polling stations. And a lot of other things. And that is why even Honorable
Raila also had computer generated results.
Yeah, there are a lot of, particularly the county seats, the gubernatorial, the women rep, and the senatorial. The figures there, and again, in some polling stations in Kisii, like Bobaracho, you find the number of voters for governor, women rep, and senate are more than those registered voters in that polling station. Probably the people who presented the matter to the president for him to understand what happened in Kisii and Nyamira can be able to he was able to tell that there were issues. Now, on the issue of Maraga,
fair point.
Yes?
Because of time.
Yes.
Because of time, we need to move on.
Yeah, on the issue of Maraga, genuinely speaking, that brought a bit of challenges. And if you realize, on Thursday, Honorable Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta and Ruto apologized to the Kisii nation or the Gusii nation and said, we are not attacking him as an individual. It is the decision, and it was collective. Yeah, and they are talking about the Supreme Court. And anyway, he said, if you were denied, you have won. Now unyanganywe. What would you do? You'd definitely be angry.
But
on another thing,
still said, I don't have a problem with the Supreme Court. Niko na shida na huyo mzee. Still in that meeting.
No, you took it out of context. He said he has a problem with the decision of the court. Another thing, even Raila Odinga, if he's using it to spin emotions in the region, he has continually attacked Matiang'i.
Let me use what you said, a lot of good information and what Dismas has said into perspective very quickly. Jared, do you think because of what he's saying that NASA and ODM are losing out in the larger Kisii area?
Firstly, you look at Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto addressing Kisii in Nakuru. You see a humbled, weather-beaten duo. Weather-beaten to the extent that they understand that the computer-generated results that they benefited from the Abagusi community may not be the same when a clean, credible electoral process is repeated. So that is why they are humble. We understand the names that he has consistently called Maraga, right from the time the pronouncement from court was made. So now he has realized much later, and that is why a president must exercise sobriety 247, 365 days a year. He has now come to realize that he perpetuated a mistake that is very costly to him. Immediately that was done, as my brother Dismas has said, NASA brigade landed in Kisii region. And the kind of reception that they got, as a matter of fact, we've never seen that before. But it is an expression of anger by the Abagusi community against their son. Kisii also understand very well that once Uhuru succeeds in hounding out Maraga in office, it will take 833 years for another Baguzi to become Chief Justice. That may be in heaven. So this is not a small matter.
All right. So you don't believe you've lost out? You don't believe?
Oh, it definitely has lost out, 100%.
No, I'm saying ODM.
Yeah, well, ODM had its numbers
Yes.
that were tinkered with by the computers. So with what Uhuru is saying, and I'm not saying Uhuru got 0 from Kisii or Nyamira, I'm not saying that. He got a bit of votes.
All right.
But now that has been dissolved to 0 out of the pronouncements that he has made about Chief Justice
All right, fair
Maraga.
points. Let me pose this question to Mheshimiwa Barasa. Your county, Bungoma, is also has been considered as a swing county, and going by the members of the National Assembly, I think there are 2 Jubilee members of Parliament from Bungoma? 4 from Bungoma, and I think another 4 from Kakamega, if I'm not wrong. You're one of those. Do you believe that the NASA coalition is losing out also in Bungoma County?
Let me be fair to NASA. Bungoma, Kakamega, and even Kisii are NASA strongholds. And what Uhuru Kenyatta needed to do is to get above the minimum 25% of the votes which he managed, which he did. And at the meeting that Uhuru Kenyatta is doing, any right-thinking political analyst will understand that any meeting that a politician does definitely has to bear some fruits. Now, those who are saying that because Uhuru Kenyatta had an issue with Maraga, had an issue with Nyangarama's petitions, blah, blah, and therefore that one will lose out, that is based on one's own opinion. That is not based on any scientific survey done. That you've interacted with the people who went to see the president, they have said we will not vote for him because he has said this against this. So those are just wishful thinking. And what Jubilee is doing that is eating into their NASA stronghold. Owing to the fact that previously before, Bungoma was NASA's stronghold. And also the Kenyans are also coming into light. That time has come for us to choose individuals. That party colors no longer adds value to our life. My own brother, this member of parliament, he has suffered from a very long period of time because of party politics. He stood last time in Fort Kenya, ODM pushed him out. He was able to come to ODM, and even I don't envy him, or I don't even want to criticize him in behaving how he's behaving, because in that part of this country is where when you don't sell when you sell ideologies, you go home very early in the morning. But what you do is that you add your voice to the voices that are
what are you trying to say? What are you trying to say in a nutshell?
In a nutshell, I'm saying...
Don't go around in circles.
In a nutshell, I'm saying most Kenyans have now come out of age when they were voting for political parties.
All right.
Now they are voting for personalities.
So
this is exactly what is happening in Bungoma and in the Kamega.
You're already facing a petition yourself, so you don't think
that
guy has a chance?
He's going home. Let me make a point.
I think if we have persons who won free and squarely, Jubilee members of Bungoma, members of parliament from Bungoma, because Jubilee neither was the Popular Party. The Popular Party was Fort Kenya. And the people identified as amongst very many. And let me tell you, all members of parliament had their results declared at the polling center manually. It was never declared electronically. And NASA had more agents in the particular polling center because of the affiliate parties.
All right.
ANC had their own agents. They had close to 12.
Ben, my brother here, with all due respect, Honorable Barasa, is one of the many computer-generated vifaranga. But let me come back to my germane issue.
He does not realize he's one of the vifarangas.
Well, you can ask my opponent to file a petition. I will defend myself. I don't even need a lawyer. But what I'm essentially saying is that if Uhuru Kenyatta had the confidence in transactions with the Kisii community, he could not have called those busybodies in State House Nakuru. He could have personally gone...
Busybodies?
Yes, they are. He could have personally gone to Nyamira and Kisii to meet the electorate just the same way he did. Secondly, so Kisii is now totally out of their radar.
No, you are
now,
lying. Because
immediately they left Nakuru. No, you don't. Immediately they left Nakuru.
Those are
during the rallies. They went to Narok.
Right.
And this is something that the media refused deliberately to give to the public. Just the same way you guys refused to tabulate your own results, only relying on that useless portal from Bomas of Kenya. At Narok, they were literally chased away when they were trying to address the people. But none of the media houses showed us that. So what I'm actually saying is that the swing, you are talking about swing counties. Swing counties, Kisii, Nyamira is out, Narok is out, Kajiado is out.
Now,
so tell me, how are they going to win against us?
Nowadays,
Right.
you don't have to,
Fair enough.
you don't have to depend on mainstream media to get news. If genuinely they were chased from Narok, we would have seen it all over social media.
Of course,
that is where the problem comes.
You know,
of course, we understand that
I need to tell you
we have
this,
some.
Genuinely speaking, there was an issue in Kisii and Nyamira about the Maraga pronunciations, but I can tell you as it is right now, President Uhuru apologized and he was categorical. He was referring to the Supreme Court.
Apology denied.
And again, you cannot deny him because you don't vote in that region. And I'm telling you this, you are going to be surprised. All people who are running on NASA affiliates from the region, MCAs and MPs who lost in the just concluded elections, have all moved to Jubilee. And these figures are going to increase.
All right, we'll wait and see. Let's put an end to this.
Yeah, but Ben, you know, the main issue is that President Kenyatta offered an apology to the Kisii community for attacking Justice Maraga. But in my view, what he should have done was to apologize to Justice Maraga himself. Because, you know, Justice Maraga is a creation of the Kenyan Constitution, which creates the institution of the presidency. And the reason why you have the Supreme Court, the raison d'etre, is to look at the presidential petitions. So when you make a ruling, what Jubilee should be doing is attacking the judgment when it comes out, or attacking the determinations instead of attacking the personalities. I think that's the critically important. Number two, now if you have to rely on social media, as Mr. Anthony Kibageni suggests, after the State House meeting in Nakuru, the footage you saw on social media, whether or not it's accurate, were people who came from there who were dancing to the NASA tunes of TB Mantiala.
That one was,
so I don't know whether that was fake or not.
You know,
so that's an important point.
That was a
and the last point,
it was representative.
From Kisumu to Homa Bay. Those were not people from Nakuru going to Kisii.
And the last point again, when you're talking about...
That's what happens when you rely on social media. There's a lot of propaganda. You don't rely on the proper media. We have only 2 minutes. Let me ask you, all of you, let's talk about this very quickly. This is the issue of, we're talking about members of parliament. Members of parliament from NASA have boycotted parliamentary business until, you know, the repeat presidential election is conducted. I want to get your views very quickly on this as we wind up. Very quickly, Jared, is what you're doing correct? I mean, you are sworn in, you will be earning a salary at the end of the month. Is it proper to boycott parliamentary business?
Oh, firstly, you've talked about that salary. That salary is not coming from Jubilee. It is coming from the people of Kenya. People who have sent us to represent their interests and also to exercise Article 1, Sub-Article 2 of the Constitution, which says that sovereignty will be exercised by the Kenyan people, but that sovereignty can be donated to democratically elected leaders to exercise it on their behalf.
When you boycott.
Now, this is not about boycott or no boycott.
Yes. Very quickly,
what we are saying is that the Supreme Court has found, has passed a very harsh indictment on the conduct of presidential election. That is bit number one. Bit number two, the Constitution gives the president, a democratically elected president, to go into the August House and convene the very first sitting. We have a very big problem with the word democratically elected Uhuru Kenyatta, and that has been found as a matter of fact. So it's not.
So what we are saying is... I'll ask you this, because we don't have time. Is it a legal issue or is it a moral issue?
Both legal and moral issue.
Kenya has a president right now.
Yeah, well, a caretaker president, and the Constitution is very clear on the same. So what we are saying is we have a problem with a non-democratically elected president convening the assembly.
All right.
That is bit number one. Bit number two, we have been given a mandate to go back to the ballot.
Right.
Parties are bound to campaign.
Yes.
And of course, Jubilee needs to campaign the most because they are the people with the biggest problem when it comes to the next election.
Right.
So what we are saying is, and you know, some of my counterparts have been going to Parliament to register. And Jubilee has a very big problem with that because the Constitution does not say how long you need to stay in the assembly.
Of course it doesn't. That's not the issue. The issue is whether it is proper. I mean, it's not a legal issue whether you get into, you know, Kenneth Matiba used to, while making his
let me tell you in a nutshell.
And sign and
let me tell you in a nutshell, Ben.
Yes.
The transactions of Parliament are done through committees.
Right.
Okay? There are certain committees that are mandated by law that have to be chaired by the opposition PAC is one of them. PIC is another. And the membership from all the committees must be drawn from the opposition.
Right.
So what we are saying is, as long as we have an irregular sitting, we are not presenting any names of those who are there.
Quickly.
So we are actually respecting the Constitution. Jubilee has chosen to disrespect the Constitution.
Fair points. Mheshimiwa Barasa, very quickly, what is your take on this issue?
NASA MPs are very dishonest. There is nothing like boycott. They have all been coming to the chambers, signing, sit down for 1 minute, 2 minutes, a few seconds, then leave.
Which is not illegal.
What they have just done, they have decided not to carry out their oversight duties in their chambers, but they are carrying out those duties in Kibera, in the meetings outside, in market centers.
Thank you. Kibagendi, what is your take on this?
I think that's unfortunate when he talks about respecting the Constitution, and Jubilee are not respecting the Constitution. All they are doing is they are respecting their party leader rather than the Constitution, because the Parliament does not need the President. They can still conduct their business even without the President opening Parliament.
This must be final thoughts.
Ben, a clever move by Jubilee in Bungoma. I forgot to mention the point was the appointment of Ken Lusaka as the Speaker of the Senate. That would be very useful in their campaign. But boycotting parliamentary business, that's the best practice in the Commonwealth. If you're unhappy with what is happening at the National Assembly, Senate, Congress, whatever it is, you can boycott. It's happened with Ken Matiba, it's happened in the UK, it's happened in Singapore, it's happened in Israel. That's okay. Because you want to make a statement. And the statement that Jared Okello would not say here is they want to portray the Jubilee National Assembly and Senate as a Jubilee parliamentary group meeting. That's why they're getting outside the business. And at the end of the day, their sole intention is to create that legitimate.
We are done for time with this. Thank you, gentlemen. That's where we leave it. There's a lot we can discuss about for another 2 hours or so. Thank you so much. Pleasure having your perspectives. Political risk analyst Dismas Mokua, Member of Parliament for Kimilili in the county of Bungoma, Didmas Wekesa Barasa, and Member of Parliament for Nyando constituency in the county of Kisumu, Jared Okello, and political commentator Anthony Kibagendi. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. That has been Sunday edition here on KTN News. Many thanks for staying with us. Be sure to join us every Sunday morning, mid-morning, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. as we discuss and dissect the big political and governance issues in the run-up to the 2017 October 17th repeat presidential election. Of course, we are keeping an eye on all that is happening around the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, as well as both sides of the political divide. See you next Sunday exactly at 11 a.m. I'm Ben Kitili, and we'll leave you, as always, with Siasa Files.
Tarehe 24 ya kuwa demokrasia imeondokea katika dirisha, lakini siku ya leo tarehe 16 demokrasia ya Wanakenya imerudia katika mlango wa mbele.